Welcome to Connected Cultures. I'm Jalen Sturdivant.
And I'm Trinity Peak. Today we're headed south.
South? South where?
South Africa. The country is home to a diverse range of wildlife, people, and cultures.
Let's take a look at some of them.
One thing that makes South Africa so unique is its beautiful wildlife. Although the country only takes up about 1% of Earth's land surface, it is home to almost 10% of the world's known bird, fish, and plant species, and about 6% of its mammal and reptile species. Wildlife is all around, with vervet monkeys swinging through the suburbs and baboons hanging around Cape Point. Not only is there a diverse mix of wildlife in South Africa, so are the people with their different cultures, languages, and histories. The country has 11 official languages, not including the unofficial ones. This mix of cultures is what gave South Africa the nickname of the Rainbow Nation. One of the country's more newly created holidays is Heritage Day and is celebrated on September 24th. On this day, South Africans get to join together to celebrate their cultures, traditions, and beliefs together. The day's events are powerful, and they remind you to recognize that South Africa's identity is a mixture of all these beautiful, different cultures, and that embracing these differences is what keeps the nation strong. South Africa's landscapes, variety of wildlife, and its cultural diversity are all just a few things that make the country special. I hope one day that I can experience its beauty in real life. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I'm Jalen Sturdivant, and thank you for joining me for today's episode, as we'll be talking about tourism in South Africa and all the interesting and cool facts and places to learn more about. Well, for starters, South Africa is a country on the southern tip of the African continent, marked by several distinct ecosystems. South Africa is commonly known to be one of the top tourist destinations, as there are more than 3 million tourists who visit South Africa a year. Some of what attracts tourists to South Africa would be that it has a lot of beautiful coastlines and beaches nearby, many whale-watching tours, alongside beautiful scenery and tons of shopping and great restaurants available. Speaking of tourist attractions, South Africa is the one and only home known to the Kruger National Park, which is one of the largest game reserves in the world. There's loads of things to do at the park, such as driving through the park, or taking private tours, staying at lodges, or seeing many magnificent animals. Including more beautiful sights and places to see would be South Africa's capitals, which are the following: Cape Town, Pretoria, and Bloemfontein. First, let's talk about Cape Town. Cape Town is a port city on South Africa's southwest coast, on a peninsula beneath the imposing Table Mountain. It also serves as the legislative capital branch of government. Next, let's talk about Pretoria. This capital serves as the seat to the executive branch of government and as the host to all foreign embassies to South Africa. This capital's population is mostly made up of government officials, and the area is mostly made up of significant historical sites and important old architecture. Lastly, let's wake up and smell the roses as we talk about the capital known as Bloemfontein. This capital is also known as Bloem, or the City of Roses, is the judicial capital of the nation and is the capital of the Free State Province of South Africa. What stands out about the city is that it is covered in flowers due to the fact that the region's climate is highly favorable to blooming plants. Now that we've talked about the beautiful places and things that South Africa has, I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone why it's a standout for top places to travel to. I didn't realize South Africa contained nearly 10% of the world's bird species.
Me neither. While Jana gave us a good overview, let's hear what Krisha Patel of Johannesburg had to say about her home country.
Hey, I'm Jalen Sturdivant, and today I'm joined by Krisha. How are you doing today, Krisha?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. How would you describe life in South Africa?
Life in South Africa is adventurous. You meet different people every day. Everyone's very unique and very friendly. Everyone's diverse, because they're from different cultures, and it's pretty nice.
We were talking earlier, and you mentioned being born in South Africa while your parents are from India.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool, and I wanted to ask you, what part of South Africa were you born?
I was born in Johannesburg,
Yeah.
but we live in Lenasia. Yeah, it is in Gauteng, is the province. So Johannesburg is really, it's a city basically, and it's really compact because there's buildings everywhere, and everything is very small because it's a small country. So everything's very compact, everything's very close to each other.
And what's your favorite part about Johannesburg?
My favorite part about Johannesburg is the food, I guess. Because you get different types of food everywhere. Like, you will taste every cuisine that you like in Johannesburg.
So Krisha, I know that you came over to App State from Johannesburg, South Africa. What was that move like?
It was pretty hard because I had less of a family here and more there. My parents are still there, and it's difficult sometimes because the distance is so much. But it has been great because I have met friends and other good friends here, and they really like family. Yeah.
And how long did you spend in Johannesburg?
I was born there, so practically all my life I was there. I didn't move until now.
And how's everything going so far?
It is good. It's like a roller coaster again, like South Africa, but it is good because I have had many opportunities here, much better ones than South Africa, and I see myself going somewhere when I'm here than there.
What would you say makes South Africa or Johannesburg specifically special?
For me, South Africa is special because all my childhood memories were there, first of all. And like, I was born there. The values and the traditions that was taught to me were from there. Practically, I'm a South African, but you feel more connected in South Africa to the people around you and the way they are, and you don't feel like you from somewhere else, you know. That's what's special. Like, if you go right now, you won't feel like an outsider because everyone's so connected and very friendly.
Have you been to any other parts of South Africa?
Yes, I have been to Port Elizabeth and Cape Town.
Really?
My personal favorite is Cape Town because of the ocean and the mountains. The view is amazing. The great Table Mountain, I'm sure you heard of it. Like, Table Mountain is the first tourist attraction, and then we have Robben Island where Nelson Mandela was kept for a few years, which is now a museum. So it is in the middle of the ocean, and there's another sea point where two oceans meet. So Cape Town is a full package.
The full package.
It's the full package.
Thank you so much, Krisha, for being on the show with us today. We really appreciate your time, and thank you for speaking with us about South Africa.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Krisha. I really enjoyed chatting with you about South Africa.
Our international mountaineers are adding their perspectives to our campus every day. But what is Appalachian doing outside of our borders?
Since 2009, App State has been working together with South Africa's University of Free State. The efforts of both schools have ramped up in recent years.
Up next, Dr. Lutabingwa and Dr. Schroeder tell us about the Mountain to Mountain project and how App is connecting with the world.
Hey everyone, and I'm Kinsey Adams from Connected Cultures. Since 2019, App State has been collaborating with South Africa's University of the Free State. Today, I'm joined with Dr. Jesse Lutabingwa, Associate Vice Chancellor of International Education and Co-Director of the Mountain to Mountain Collaboration. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Lutabingwa. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome.
It's good to be here.
Good to have you, absolutely. So I just wanted to start off the interview by asking you a few questions about the Mountain to Mountain collaboration and what inspired the connection between App State and South Africa's University of the Free State.
So I have to tell you that Appalachian State University and University of Free State have been partners since 2009.
Oh, wow.
And we have exchanged students, we have exchanged faculty members, and many of us administrators have visited each other's campuses to try to figure out how we can develop programs that will deepen our engagement with each other. And so this project, the Mountain to Mountain project, should be seen within the context of trying to deepen the relationship and trying to implement activities that will bring us much closer together. It was actually inspired by other activities that we have been doing. We have another project that we are doing with the University of Free State, and that is called University Staff Development Program, where this is funded by the Ministry of Education in South Africa and trying to increase the capacity of institutions for their faculty members to achieve doctoral degrees. And so here at Appalachian, we are co-supervising 5 of the Free State doctoral students. One of those has graduated already, was my student. 4 of them are still working on their PhDs. And so this Mountain to Mountain project was inspired by the work that we are already doing within that project. And we wanted to see that there were some spin-off activities with engagement with the University of Free State, the Qwa Qwa Campus.
Right. That's amazing. Is there anything that you can tell me about the women entering the mentorship in the program? And what is this collaboration doing for them?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've found in South Africa, there is a lack of advancement for Black women, especially in academia, both here in the US, but also in South Africa. And so this component of our project is trying to provide some mentorship for young Black women, South Africans, at the University of the Free State, to try to help them learn the ropes on how they can become good researchers, but also how they can develop their leadership potential, because there are many opportunities for being academic leaders, either as a department chair or program directors or deans and higher, but somebody need to help them and mentor them to know what they need to do to get to that place. The exciting news is that this year, in June, from June 3rd to June 13th, members of this cohort will actually come here to Appalachian for a symposium that we are organizing for them to be able to come and meet some other women leaders and researchers here at Appalachian State.
What are some of the similarities that you found in the high country mountains and these Maloti Drakensberg mountains?
Our mountains here are full of trees. They are forested. These mountains we are talking about in South Africa actually are bare. They look like they are naked mountains. But the similarities, at least that I find, is that they are beautiful mountains. They attract people to come to visit. In the same way, like here in these mountains, we are attracting a lot of tourists to come and visit. But also those tourists have some impact on these places. I think people in the mountains also struggle to make a living. We find the same thing in these mountains in South Africa and these mountains here up here in the Appalachian. And I think trying to connect people to learn from each other about mountains is very important. I'm very happy on this project that we are collaborating with the Center for Appalachian Studies. Is involved in some of the things that we are doing, as well as the Department of Geography and Planning, because what they look at here, they may find some similarities or contrasts with what is happening in those mountains in South Africa.
So the Mountains to Mountains collaboration is scheduled to publish a final report next year. Are you satisfied with what's been accomplished so far?
The quick answer is yes.
Okay.
I'm satisfied with what we have accomplished so far, with the limitations that have been imposed on us by COVID. Some of the face-to-face interactions we are kind of limited, but hopefully given that we have been given extension until next year, we hope that many of the things we had wished to achieve between last year and this year will be achieved.
Right.
We learned about the limitations of depending on physical mobility, but then we were able to overcome those limitations and say, okay, what is it that is important? We can remain globally engaged with each other without necessarily physically traveling. So we try to figure out how to make that work. So Zoom has been very great for us. And,
Very helpful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to survive without it.
Right. So we have done a lot of things on Zoom, but also we have recognized that there are some things we have not been able to do. For example, we are contemplating doing some community-based research in South Africa, and that hasn't happened. We hope that that will happen this year.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Kinsey Adams, and this is
Jesse Lutabingwa.
And it's been nice seeing you. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Lutabingwa. The Mountain to Mountain collaboration sounds like a great opportunity for both app and UFS.
Yeah, I'm proud of our Mountaineers making a difference on the international stage.
Don't go too far when we come back. Dr. Schroeder will tell us about her role in the project.
What's going on?
Up late.
What is that?
Sketch show.
Oh boy, when does it air?
Sunday night,
What time?
9 p.m.
Thanks.
Broadcasting from the Wayne L. Sumner Studio in the George G. Beasley Media Complex. Still crazy after all these years. 90.5 WASU, the App FM.
Welcome back to a brand new season of the Morning App every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Check it out on 90.5 WASU FM, WASUradio.com, WatchAppTV.com, WatchApp TV on Facebook and YouTube, Skybest Channels 20 and 1020, Charter Channel 198, and Campus Channel 23.3. See you there.
I'm Noah C. Cornelius.
I'm Eric Fisher.
I'm Chris Daniels.
I'm Allie Powell, and make sure to catch all new episodes Monday at 9.
Hi, my name is Jana Cugliari from Connected Cultures, and today I'm with Dr. Kathleen Schroeder from the Department of Geography and Planning, and she is the co-grantee for the Mountain to Mountain collaboration with the University of the Free States. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me over.
I'm so glad to talk to you. So tell me about the Mountain to Mountain collaboration. What inspired this connection between Appalachian State and South Africa's University of the Free State?
So we have been working with several different universities in South Africa for quite a long time. Jesse Lutabingwa has been the force behind these grants. And I went over to the University of Free State, oh boy, a couple years before the pandemic started, working on another project. And that project involved me specifically being the doctoral mentor to a woman graduate student there. So I got on their campus and I started interacting with them, and they were so fun and smart and hardworking, and it was such a cool place. And so when this grant opportunity came around, Dr. Lutabingwa asked me if I would participate, and I said yeah, because they're neat people. Their campus is similar to ours in that it's in the mountains. They're isolated from the big city.
Just like us.
Yeah, so it's really, we've got a lot in common, so it's really fun.
Well, that's great. So how are App State and UFS benefiting from this program?
So this grant in particular is about App State contributing to the development of the university in South Africa. So it's more, university faculty here helping them develop their curriculum, their scientific mission, and the project I'm on mostly is on about women's leadership development. So it's kind of us reaching out to our partners there. Now, how we're going to benefit is that we're developing these really strong relationships. One of the guys who came over here years ago to work on his doctorate is now one of the campus leaders. So we've got these really strong ties. I feel really confident advising students to go and take courses there. I'm bringing at least a dozen South African women here in June. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna work very hard. But we're also just gonna have fun, and I'm gonna show off the high country, and hopefully when they come up for sabbaticals or Fulbrights or MacArthur Foundation grants, they'll want to come here and work with us.
That'll be amazing. So there's 2 new master's programs being offered in the Mountain Studies and Community Development.
Yep.
Why is this significant for USF and Appalachian?
So, you know, Appalachian has this wonderful connection to the Appalachian region. So I think about Appalachian Studies Department, and the University of Free State is in a similar ethnically unique region of South Africa. So when they were looking to develop like a community-based development program, they looked at what we did at the master's level in Appalachian Studies. So that was kind of the model as they were developing their own. So this is local people with excellent credentials and strong research records talking about ways to improve the quality of lives of people living there. So that's kind of what that master's degree program is about. So kind of like a master's degree in Appalachian Studies or a master's degree in planning is going to be along the focus.
Okay, that sounds great. So also, a handful of faculty and graduate students are participating in an exchange program. Could you elaborate on what that?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't have a second language. So the language of instruction is in English in South Africa. So it makes it possible for faculty who maybe don't speak a second language or students who don't feel confident going to study in, you know, Spanish or French. It gives them an opportunity to go someplace that's truly different, a completely different part of the world, and see, you know, the challenges and the opportunities that are available in these places. So it's really accessible, and it's still really very different. So I think it's a great program.
Oh yeah, I wish I had another semester here.
Well,
so
you always can stay on, you know.
I know, I might have to. So in your words, what is the legacy of the Mountain to Mountain collaboration with USF? And would you like to see Appalachian do more internationally?
Yeah, so in terms of the legacy, I think we're building towards this legacy now. We have 1 year left in the grant. But I think what we're going to see at the end is like real relationships between our students and their students. I mean, I know that my colleague that I'm working with on this Bringing the Women Over program is, I mean, she's just a neat woman, and we've spent a year on Zoom together, and now we're going to get together in person. So these real relationships that can exist, I think is a wonderful legacy, like a true friendships and opportunities to collaborate. So that's really what we're looking for. In terms of Appalachian doing more international work, we do so much already.
Yeah.
So what I'm always hoping for is like deeper connections in places. So maybe not more connections, but really strengthening the relationships we have.
Well, Dr. Schroeder, it was so nice getting to talk to you today. You're a great person, and I can't wait to continue to see the great things you do for App in South Africa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Well, back to you guys in the studio. Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Schroeder. I'm really interested to see how App and UFS continue this partnership.
Me too. Mountaineers are truly being the change we want to see and connecting the world's cultures.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Well, we're typically supposed to save dessert for the end, right?
Sometimes. Before we let you go, let's watch Seth bake a sweet South African dessert.
Hi, and welcome back to Connected Cultures. My name is Seth Peterson, and today, with this week's episode of South Africa, we'll be making a dish called milk turds. Milk turds. A little bit of history about milk turd is that it's actually not necessarily a South African dish. Centuries ago, Danish people dungeon. Oh my goodness. What are Danish people called? Danish people. Danes. Centuries ago, Danes migrated to South Africa, and they made this really sweet dish. That's not much of a history, but it's So what happened? And that's where we get our milk turd. It's actually our first dessert that we're cooking, or at least that I'm cooking for the show, which is really exciting. I'm really excited, and I'm about ready to get into it. So let's get into the recipe. But before we do, let's tell you the ingredients.
For this recipe, you will need the following: butter, castor sugar, oil, eggs. You actually need 5 for this recipe. Flour, baking powder, salt, milk, corn flour, vanilla essence or vanilla extract. Mix 115 grams of butter with 2 tablespoons of castor sugar until it's fluffy and put it in the big bowl. 2 tablespoons of oil. Add your egg. 2 tablespoons of baking powder. A couple cracks of salt. Mix your contents well to make the dough, and add water if needed, which is what I did. Grease your baking dish and fill the inside with dough, including the sides. Preheat your oven at 360 degrees and bake your dough for 10 minutes. Put 2 pints of milk in a big saucepan and heat it until it starts to boil. Add 100 milliliters of milk, 30 grams of flour. Muffin mix should be good, but they want you to add 45 grams of corn flour, and stir. Separate the egg whites from the 4 yolks. Whisk the egg whites in the bowl. Add 250 grams of sugar, 15 grams of butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla essence in your bowl. Mix all your liquids in the big saucepan and stir while on low heat. You might need to add more egg whites to the mix before topping it off with cinnamon. I didn't have plastic wrap, but I did have the next best thing. Place your milk turd in the fridge and consume within the week. I'll get back to you with my taste test in the morning.
Hi guys, good to see you again, only after less than 12 hours later. It's me just checking in on the milk turd, which something I realized today is actually that milk turd is just milk tart. You would think I would realize that earlier, but no. Let's check inside. Look at my homemade foil wrapping. Oh, let's check. Oh, God. Oh, no. The recipe required to chill after you make it. I don't think it's supposed to be served immediately. I still want to try it out because I think it's going to be good. But do I eat it with a fork or a spoon? I'm going to try a spoon. Let's do it. That crust is thick. Come on, baby. Get me some milk tart. Oh, yeah. Ooh. There's a little bit of, like, that tart in there. And that's what's important. Boone apple teeth. I feel like there has to be more of the tartiness to make this what you would expect from this recipe. But for what it is, it's good. It's not half bad. No. It's good. This isn't a complete disaster. It's real good. You should make it the right way next time so you can try it out for yourself. This specific recipe that I followed didn't have all of what was required for it. I followed it the way it asked me to. And this is the result. I probably used a different flour than they asked for, a different butter or something like that. But for what it is, I'm satisfied. This is the official sign-off, and I really appreciate you joining me once again for another episode of Connected Cultures. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Connected Cultures.
I hope you enjoyed South Africa and that you're inspired to work together like App State and UFS.
Join us next time when we'll take you to Argentina.
Bye. I didn't realize South Africa contained. Now.